thou art.
With zero doubt that the Lord is real, because when I overdosed on 350 anti-psych pills with over a pint of vodka on March 8th, 2017, I took them after my family had gone to bed. My husband, for some reason, reached over to me, which he doesn't typically do because he's upset, that I've been drinking again and breaking promises again. So we would go to bed and he would be frustrated and angry, of course. Well, for some reason that night, he reached over and touched my hand. And it was limp, and he flips on the light, and my body had turned gray. And my breath was about a minute apart. And I was like, and then a minute later. So I found syringes when I got home under the bed, so they quickly tried to make me better. When I got to the hospital, I had a medically induced coma that I went through. And so I had to be, because it was a suicide attempt, I had to be supervised 24/7. You can't be left alone. And so that means somebody watches you and they document every single thing that you do, every moment. Doesn't matter how little, she's itched a nose, they write it down. So during my coma, I guess I opened my eyes, turned to my left of my bed, and I was talking to someone who wasn't there. And I was reaching for someone who wasn't there. And I said, but I want to go home. Why can't I go home? Okay. So I was frustrated in that moment and closed my eyes, went back. Well, when I woke up, the nurse says to me, she goes, I don't know if you're a believer or not, but I think you had a conversation with Jesus. And I said, I thought I dreamed that. She said, no, you did that. And so we talked about it. So what I can tell you is that without a doubt, that is something I believe and know with all my heart. So that gives me comfort too, to know that, there is a place that you go after this. So the interesting thing is when I saw Jesus, he was average height, slim build, he was tan, he had kind of a narrow bridge on his nose, and he was wearing white, and he stood with his hands like this. Well, for us that are parents that have children, we know this, and that usually your child reaching to you. So I imagine that's why I was reaching to the person that wasn't there, because he was standing with his hands like this when he was talking to me. So I thought he was reaching, and I was trying to reach back. So I found that interesting. But anyways, my husband never forgets a face, ever. And we were going to Walmart a couple weeks ago, and this lady was walking towards us. And he says to me, do you recognize that lady? And, for someone like me who's been through the addiction and through some very terrible mistakes, when somebody says you recognize somebody, you want to run into a hole because you have no idea what that means. Right? It scares you to death. But before I had a chance to say anything or ask my husband, no, who is it? She was there. And he turns to her and he says, you're a nurse at Center Point, right? And she goes, yes. And I'm trying to pull him to get away, you know. I'm not being very nice or polite. Anyways, he says, do you remember her? And she looked me in the eyes and she said, yes, I do, and shook her head. Well, in my mind immediately, I went to that horrific place of what she must have seen, because every time I was at Center Point, it was for suicide. There was no, and my suicides were all hospitalizations because they were so severe. So I was scared to death what this poor woman had gone through and what she had to endure in my care. And so he says, gosh, you're always so nervous, as we're walking away from this lady, because I was trying to get out so quick. And he's right. I'm very nervous because, again, what does this person know? And so when he said that, I was like, you know, that's really cool. He says, that's the lady that documented your encounter with Jesus. That was Vanessa. And then I wanted to run back and grab her. But the cool thing is that now I have a face to go with the memory. Because when I woke up from the medical-induced coma, I was very groggy and weak still, so I didn't remember what she looked like. But I do know I'm alive today because of Jesus and my faith.
I wanted you guys to hear it because when a little girl has heard from Jesus, that is such an amazing thing. And you get to help with other little girls, so it's very. See? Okay. So
Hey, don't forget about me now. I want to get in.
You want to tell us?
Yeah. She died, and then Jesus made her come back here to help more people.
Isn't that awesome?
and I told her I
How
did
did you
that.
find out? Who told you?
I'm going home with you. I hope you know that.
That is awesome. Because that is something that nobody knows.
No, she didn't go. So I
You know I'm recording, eh? How good thou